went out to meet her, and I took some backup because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't falling in love with the horse and taking home something that, I was really missing something big. And so I got to meet Honey, and she was pretty interactive with me. And I kind of fell in love. And then when we got her home, and I would put the halter on and extend invitations to her. That's how we like to think of what we're doing with the horses, rather than telling them what to do, is extending an invitation. And what I noticed when the halter was on her, there wasn't that same feeling of connection. It felt like she either was guarded, protected, or maybe just waiting, okay, what? I know that I'm supposed to do something, but I don't know what it is. And, I am not familiar, Liz, but I wasn't familiar with her training, how they do things, where I'm supposed to stand. My background was different, plus I completely decided that it doesn't matter what my background was, now I'm just going to do whatever. I'm not necessarily going to lead my horse on the left side. I'm not, the rules get a little different. And so what I did was just try to stand in different places and wait for her to start to come out of that, I call it shutdown. Okay, I can interact with you. Maybe I can move someplace. I didn't want her. You want me to move her? Because as she becomes more and more involved in helping people, I want her to be able to express whatever wisdom is in her. Maybe Annie's just teaching her stuff. I don't know.
This is their first day together, so they're very
Okay, and when I would like Honey to pay attention to me, instead of years ago, what I would have done is just pulled on the rope. And so I'm going to do a little bit of capitalizing on her instincts or nature, because horses have a tendency to follow what moves. And so, again, letting her have a choice, but at the same time, she might bump into the end of this rope. I'm not going to just let her dictate everything, especially if it's a safety issue. But I think horses are so good at helping us learn about boundaries and edges. And again, this interacting like this is so new to her. And one of the things that I've noticed, right, the corners of her eye, look, see that scary side, right here, they get a crease. Yeah, you can, like they're worried. And so I'm just pausing and giving her enough time to hopefully, let that worry go. So I'm expecting that as we work together more and more, we'll start to see her mouth, especially her lower lip, is very tight. It's very, very tight. Sometimes through the Masterson, they kind of helped us every once in a while just to kind of help them remember sometimes that moves. So a lot of what we're doing now is simply things like this, just being together, expressing some invitations for her to come with me, but not demanding she do it in a certain way in a certain time. Now, I'm not saying that either, in addition to the healing work with horses, we also ride the horses and we manage them. If the vet comes, all right, maybe today you don't get to decide, no, you're not coming in. There are some give and takes in this relationship, but kind of keeping that in the backs of our minds, the mindset of extending an invitation and giving them enough time to accept it. Because one of the things that one of my other horses taught me, when Petey, the thoroughbred that I have with the kissing spine, when I get done riding him, and he's been really good, I am already looking forward to the next time that I get to ride him, because I'm kind of a geek like that. And so, the next day when I go out and I'm ready to bring him in, and I go up to him like, oh my gosh, the day is fine, we're finally here. And he's just like, I don't think so. And he also, when we first got him, I think he had been caught with treats before. So, we had a little journey of letting him be okay with being caught. But on those days when he's just kind of like, oh, there's grass, there's hay, where did you come from? If I would just pause and give him enough time to kind of like be okay with the request, that's one of those kind of magic things about horses. Eventually he would say, oh, okay. And that's the type of thing that I can't explain, but I just so appreciate that that's in there. So you can see can you see that there's a difference in how Annie interacts with and how Honey does? There's just a little more connection that Annie has, more focus, more attention, and when you're the one at the end of the rope, it feels more like you're a team. But see, now she's starting to hook on a little bit more. So any questions, comments? Yes?
I never saw any other presentations, so I really have a real good idea of what you do. It's very advantageous that you have horses open to expressing their ideas and feelings so that they're getting the kind of feedback that you as the therapist need in the interaction between the client and the horse. But all of these, getting the horse to let down, relax, and be more themselves with you, I can see that being very advantageous even for somebody who takes the horse to a horse show, puts them through a, exciting and stressful day. Maybe the next time you interact with your horse, you can do more of this kind of stuff, kind of just, make them compress and feel back and all that, and reward them for the job that they did at the horse show.
Yes. She agrees too. But yeah, that is lots of, just, again, because she has been told so often where to be and how to be, and this is just different. And sometimes I don't think it's that vulnerability, it's that comfortable, that familiarity. But that's so, and even though, like, talking about doing these things with respect to the healing work, this has spilled over for me now in all that I do with horses. But to be quite honest, I don't show. I don't, and I don't train other people's horses, so I don't have my mortgage relying on any speed.
Good afternoon. Welcome again to the Michigan Horse Expo. I have a silent auction up front put on by the Horse Council. They have a couple of very unique items. A beautiful painting, handmade quilts, and many more items. Please check it out. It goes on for all 3 days.
She's grown her voice. Okay, but yeah, I completely agree that there are parts of doing things in this way or intentionally that could benefit everybody. Even some, most of us horse people know that there's just something about being around horses that helps us feel better. And to be able to capitalize on it and let them feel better too, that's become paramount for us, because I completely believe my closing statement, that in healing type work, it needs to be healing for both the human client and the horse. There has to be a benefit for both. And that's what I have decided I will remain true to. So thank you very much for your time, your attention, and getting to know our 2 girls here. If you are interested in any, we have some new programs coming up, a membership site, workshops, retreats. 339 is our booth number. One over from the bathroom. We'll be there. Would love to talk with you and enjoy the rest of the expo.